Hello, I'm Frédéric at Let Them Eat Cake, and welcome to the Coffee Break series. In this series of short videos, I'm going to focus on those little two-bite delights that are traditionally served with tea or coffee in France. I'm talking about the madeleines of these worlds, the financiers, the diamonds, well, you know what I'm talking about. So today I will show you how to make financiers, which are brown butter tea cakes. They are actually the perfect project if you have unused eggs in the fridge. The financier was named after the nuns who created them in the Middle Ages, who were called the Visitandines. It changed its name in the late 19th century when a entrepreneurial French Parisian pastry chef decided to recreate them in the form of a gold bar and sell them in his pastry shop in front of the Paris Stock Exchange. Hence the name, the Financiers. These tidbits are extremely easy to make. Not even 10 minutes of work, no special equipment, so you have no excuse. For 12 Financiers, you will need 113 grams of butter, 120 grams of icing sugar, 120 grams of egg whites, 68 grams of almond flour, and 37 grams of all-purpose flour. If you are gluten-free, feel free to substitute with measure for measure gluten-free flour. It is fantastic either way. And finally, 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. The equipment you will need is very straightforward: a mixing bowl, a whisk, a tight mesh colander, a spoon, and a mini muffin tin. Traditionally, the financiers, as I told you earlier, are baked in molds that give them that gold bar shape, but most people do not have it here, and it's not necessary. I prefer actually doing them in a tin muffin pan, mini muffin pan. I find them very nice that way. Before we preheat your oven at 350 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius. So the first step is to make the brown butter. So for that, you put the butter in a pan and melt it over medium heat. Now, I hope you can hear this. In France, we say that the butter is singing. So the trick to brown butter is let the butter sing, and when it's done singing, it's ready. Listen to this. I always recommend to move the spatula a little bit in so you do not have any burnt patches. Still singing. Do not put it higher than medium high because you're going to have splashes everywhere. When the butter will be ready, it will also have a telltale sign. It's going to have a smell of hazelnut. It is actually pretty nice. And that is what's going to flavor the financier. It normally takes about 2-3 minutes. I usually make this in a pot with higher sides. It's just to be able to show you. To do it with a pot with tall sides will prevent that many splashes. But I really wanted for you to see what was going on. It's getting tired of singing. The oven is ready. as you can hear, or actually you cannot hear, it stops singing. Your butter is ready. So what you need to do, you take it out of the heat, take the colander, and you're going to pour the butter into a bowl. See, what that does is remove the brown bits that were in the pan. The brown bits are actually the protein that is contained in the butter. It's called the casein. And let's put this on the side and let's continue. So now let's put it together very simply. You add the icing sugar to the bowl. I actually sifted the icing sugar, the almond flour, and the flour prior to doing this because I like it when it's very fine. So either you have a sifter, or if you do not have one, using a colander is perfect as well. So I'm adding the powders, the flour, so all the dry ingredients. And I'm going to whisk it so that it's combined, nicely mixed. You do not want to have patches of either almond or flour or sugar. Now all you do, you put in the egg whites and the vanilla. And you mix until everything becomes a batter. It's not more complicated than that. I always whisk from the center and bring the sides in. This has been incorporated. Now I'm adding the butter, the brown butter. There was still a little bit of deposits which I left in the bowl. You should smell the hazelnut right now. Once the butter is completely incorporated, voila, it's done. Let's put it in the mold. It's time to assemble the Financiers. If you use a metal pan, do not forget to grease it. I'm going to quickly use a spray. If you use silicone, obviously, you do not need to do that. I'm going to give it one last swirl. And simply, with a spoon, you're going to pour the batter into the pan all the way to the top. All right, this is done. That was quite messy. So what I like to do is, even though they are beautiful like this, what I love to do is add a few things. I like adding a raspberry inside. You push it in so it doesn't burn. This is really delightful. I'll make 6 of those. They will not go to waste. Or if you have some silvered almonds, just add a few on top. Now, if you have, for example, plums, you can slice them or chop them and put them on top. You can put some chocolate chip. Basically, whatever you want. And those 3, I'm going to keep them like this. So this is done. I'm going to put that in the oven now for 13 minutes. At 10 minutes, start looking, because you never know, different ovens bake differently. So it takes usually 13 minutes in my oven. So start looking at 10 and it should be ready. Here they are. I unmolded them after they finished baking and I let them rest for 20 minutes on a rack. By the way, I tried something different today. As I told you, normally takes 13 minutes at 350 convection. I tried today without convection and it took 15 minutes, just to keep in mind. We're going to put them on a tray. As you can see, it's nice and crisp on the outside. The Financiers 3 ways. So as you can see, it was really something truly easy to make. So it's your turn. Don't forget to post your photos, post your comments, post your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe and click that little thumb. Bon appétit, à bientôt.